live.
Okay.
All right, just don't cover this part. Hold it down here. And hello, Rao. We're back at Perform 2018, Dynatrace, Las Vegas. It's Tuesday night, and I am here with Rao, who came by, saw one of our SoundCube Bluetooth speakers and said, how do I get one of those? So he stepped to the challenge. Hello, Rao. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Something should inspire to say something or do something, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, so that's good.
So let's hear this. You have a very interesting story, because most of the times, as we know, people see performance degradations and they know there's a problem.
Yes.
You had an opposite situation.
Yes.
Explain this. What happened here?
So I've been a performance engineer for the last 18, 19 years, by passion, by profession. And so came across a very interesting performance, I would say a problem, because everybody, like you just rightly said, the whole Dynatrace conference or any APM looks for performance degradation and how to solve the problems. But when I had the performance dashboard up and running in a production command center, one fine day the SOC was, all the guys were there and they're watching the dashboards. And the performance baseline was around between 2 and 3 seconds.
Right.
And suddenly, not bad for,
It's not Google, but it's not bad. Right,
it's not bad either. And so one day, and we had only the response time in it.
Right.
So it just dropped down. It dropped to a few hundred of milliseconds. So this was very interesting. The guy said, we are running really fast. But being a Dynatrace guy and a performance engineer, like I said, by passion and profession, it sounded to be too good to be true.
Yeah, because you said it got down to
100
3
milliseconds.
to about 100 milliseconds.
From around between 2
and
and a
Mark,
half to 3 seconds.
You've probably seen these things, Mark, as well. A transaction going from 3 seconds, normal, down to about 100 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Right? You think,
we
just made it in a production system.
In a production system on a normal day.
Your first reaction, right, as a long-term load profession would be, we just had a wonderful performance improvement, correct?
No, something started airing out.
Well, let's hear
something that used to take time is no longer taking time. That's a 404s are fast.
I'm a big fan of you, so I'll not tease too much, but I've been following you for a long time. Close to 2 decades.
Am I even close? That would be my first gut.
There are no errors.
That's my instinct.
Actually, there are no errors.
No exception. Well, could be swallowing the exception somewhere in the stack.
Dynatrace could catch them.
True dat, homie.
Oh, it's like that now, huh?
That's why I'm from Philly. All right, keep going. Tell the story. You've piqued my interest
stumped
for
the
sure.
joke, man.
But what happened is, when you build dashboards, people are pretty much interested only in the response time. So they build dashboards only with the response times.
Right.
And then there's a little bit of what you call request throughput, but not all requests are captured all the time. What happens in Dynatrace is with the business transactions.
That's true.
So people are interested in putting on dashboards only their business transactions. So the cash flow is happening, receipts are happening, sends are happening, users are happy, user experience is happy, everything is nice.
Right.
But it looks nice.
They're normal. I would say nice, but depends. Nice is always perspective. Something good for me, not good for...
Yeah, right.
But they're all normal. Right. No glaring things at all.
Okay.
But only the response time dropped. From that seconds to 100 milliseconds. It was a big swap. Actually,
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
All right.
And I was supposed to give a presentation. I was on a waiting list, so I have the deck also still there
to
to especially showcase that.
All right.
Then something definitely is weird. So we started digging. We went into the UAM, and we found out there were a couple of IPs, probably several hundred IPs, only doing a small 1x1 GIF, and they're only doing that. They're just trying to only hit that part.
So it was skewing the numbers.
Exactly.
Because some functional issue that was only grabbing this 1x1.
Need not be functional, but something.
Beacon GIF of some kind.
Somebody deliberately trying something on the website, only trying to access that 1x1 GIF, and they have hundreds of hits.
And so for some reason, those are being labeled the same as the regular request?
Yeah, they're not regular requests, because if somebody hits the home page, it would load all of them, and it would take 2 to 3 seconds. But somebody, when they're trying to access only that 1x1 GIF, the response time is just 100 milliseconds because it is just the cache and it's coming out.
But the greater transaction gets skewed because it looks now, it's like, my gosh, it's super fast.
So the average response time of actually got completely skewed, and we are performing at 100 milliseconds.
Look, I'm not going to toot my own horn, because I'm not a horn player.
Yeah.
But I said, something that used to work that took time stopped working, like a 404. Well, they're not calling the whole page. It's not a 4. You're right, though. That's good.
Correct.
No errors.
There are no 404s, no exceptions,
It's
no
a valid
errors.
HTTP request.
Yes, and that is why
I
even
like
the
that.
See, that was a very, very, very interesting case I wanted to share in Dynatrace anyway, but you guys are lucky you got that case.
No, that's good.
But I've been a performance engineer also for 2 decades, and I've been following you many times.
Good
so,
for you.
Yeah.
All right,
So
nice to meet
this
you.
was something that I went to the NOC Street, Network Operations Center, and they said it's not even hitting that threshold of denial of service to actually alert there in the tools.
Right.
Mhm.
So they didn't catch it either. So we showed them.
yeah.
Because it's not that high. But
So
it
that's
is high
interesting
enough to
because-
skew.
Not frequent enough to actually, and probably not, depending on the DDoS, probably not coming from the same location.
IP, exactly. Not coming
So
from the
that's
same IP,
interesting
same
because-
location.
Address is not the
So that
same.
was very, very weird. And so when we went into the network and security, we alerted both of them. We
Right.
said there's something weird that is happening. They could not block a set of IP because it's coming very randomly.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was really, really weird. But at the end of the day, what they did is they instantly renamed that 1x1 GIF to something else, and then they stopped because there's no way you can stop all those IPs.
Right.
It
Right.
was so random. But the interesting thing there is if you put that, if response time is too good to be true, yes, it is
good.
wrong.
And
It
you-
is not
and
a
you know
good
what's
reason.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Too good to be true.
It's not true.
It's not true.
And you know what's interesting about that is
I
you're
like that.
finding not necessarily a possible attack
Correct. It's not
based on a decrease in response time, not because the network things got kicked off.
Right.
So I was recently we were talking to Harold from
Harold. Yeah.
and we were talking about some of the IoT stuff. So we have an IoT agent and all that. And if you recall, a little over a year ago, there was an attack, a DDoS attack done by like web security cameras and all that.
right.
Right now, if we didn't have Dynatrace monitors for IoT at that time, but if people had, one of the characteristics people they noticed afterward
Right.
was if you were analyzing, this is still a computer little program on those
right.
things.
Right.
The memory consumption
Right.
used by those programs on the web things,
Mm-hmm.
as this update occurred and this malware got injected, increased.
Increase.
So if they
Sure.
knew what the memory size was supposed to
To
be
be.
and were monitoring the memory size of these IoT devices,
Yep.
Right.
they would have seen an increase and said, we don't have an increase in it.
Increase.
Right? So sometimes it's not always the obvious
Oh, yeah, yep.
metric that's going to
Yep.
capture an attack of some sort, like a decrease in response time. Who would think
Yes.
that could
And-
trigger?
and-
but
and even if
you
you
investigated,
think-
which
right.
is like,
And even if people, because there were no alerts, no exceptions, no errors, nothing to trigger on, it was not high enough for the DDoS to trigger.
Right.
The network security could not catch because it's coming from multiple IPs.
Right.
And again, so that was a very, very classic example of how a performance engineer goes through, and I'm a performance engineer like you, and
Yeah.
I'm sharing the story.
No, I'm thinking you could also alert on total page size.
That was a
Like if it
right.
falls out of trend, like if you're running in the test mode,
Right.
you could look at the trend for the total page size.
Absolutely.
It depends on the
I
app
mean-
because some pages naturally have high payload, low payload, depending on what they're doing. With
Right.
catalogs, images, and
But
media,
again,
whatever.
Since you're accessing only the GIF, it's not even a page, so you won't
So
get
here's the
page
thing,
requests
though.
won't get that.
here's the thing
that's-
though, and
Very
I'd have to
very
check with
cool.
one of my colleagues,
All
but
right,
I believe.
let's make sure. Did he win?
Oh yeah, you're definitely
You're
gonna
definitely.
Go
You
for
get
that.
a
That's great
sound
story.
cube. It's a Bluetooth sound cube. You want? Come on now.
So by the way,
Let
what
me
you
make sure he
missed
has
was
one.
before you came back, he was like, I was like, well, I'm just here by myself, and I'm like, well, let's do it. But he was like, what if I take it now and come back tomorrow?
But I actually wanted to meet Mark
Yes,
more
you
than
did.
anything. I
No,
know
no.
more than this.
But so here's the interesting thing, and I'd have to check with
And
one of my colleagues.
I'm finally starting the list. You're at the top of the list to win our prize. You know what our prize is?
No.
A Dynatrace UFO
Okay.
and an Amazon Echo.
I
So-
have both, but I still want one more to play with.
Can you, then you could give it away to a colleague who would appreciate it.
No, I'll tell you, the Dynatrace UFO that we are trying to still build has a limitation on hardware because of the enterprise security.
Yeah.
But I want it as a part of the company. But if I win this, I'm going to take it home and build my home with that. So I don't want to give it away to a colleague because
you
I've already given it to a company,
All
not
right.
a colleague.
Yes,
All
yes.
right, there you
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Good
So
enough.
here's the one
Yeah.
thing I wanted to say about this that I'd have to double check with a colleague with, but I know in Dynatrace, if you have a sudden drop off in traffic
Yeah.
of even a single request type, we're going to alert. I also believe that Dynatrace AI will, if you have a sudden increase
Yeah.
in traffic of a single request. So
Single-
since it's that GIF file
Right.
that I was looking for,
It would.
I
it would
think
flag.
It would do,
Dynatrace
and
might
that's-
have flagged that for
Yeah,
you as opposed to I
because
think you're probably
Davis
using
would
Atmon,
tell
right?
you,
We are
I'm
using
noticing
Atmon.
excessive
Right.
throughput on a
Right.
certain resource.
This
Right.
This is not our normal
Not normal,
traffic
yeah.
for the time,
Out of
And-
trend.
and it might have given you an alert, which
And
is
that is exactly what I am hoping when we transition to Dynatrace and AI enable it. That's what I'm hoping to capture and put it as a traffic. And
interesting.
Dynatrace, though it is for monitoring, I have used it, or rather I've enabled it in security. I've enabled it in testing, obviously, a lot.
Yeah.
So Dynatrace has a lot more than performance monitoring.
Yeah. And tomorrow there's going to be some announcements about some AI Engine 2.0.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited and
So-
eager to hear all about
Me too.
that.
I've only heard hints, so I'm very
That's right.
eager to hear
Especially the
myself.
2 billion. Okay, I don't want to spoiler. I know that.
No, you're not
No,
supposed
no.
to.
If you know it, then it's
And
well, people know.
somebody leaked it.
Yeah.
We don't like leakers.
No,
Unless
I-
it's normal biological function. then
Yes.
Yeah.
you have to
It's
go
a
take
teaser,
look.
not a leak teaser.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly right.
Good.
Awesome.
All right, well,
So, how
Rao,
was the rest
but
of the
really
show?
nice meeting
What
you, Mark.
sessions? How are you finding the rest of the?
It's
any
great,
any
and I'm-
favorite
Did you
sessions?
do hot sessions?
No, not this year. Last year
Okay.
we did. Not this year. But I'm looking
Did
forward
you
for
do
the year.
a puzzler with
He
us
did his
last
talk.
year?
Funny?
He did his talk already.
You spoke about the PayPal one? I
No,
think it's tomorrow.
that's
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's what I
thought-
registered
oh,
for.
you have a different one today.
I was on the
saw-
main stage.
Yeah, you're on the main stage. I saw
Yeah,
it.
All right.
that was-
I've been at CMG. I heard your talk, and I also
Oh,
gave a
yeah,
couple
yeah,
of them.
that's what it was.
Not this year, but a couple of years back, I gave the performance engineering, the agile way, and all.
Yep.
I've been a speaker there
So
too.
good for you. But
Yeah.
anything memorable so far with Dynatrace Perform?
Yes, the ecosystem that they are building. Whatever. Back in the early 2000s, or not, I would say mid 2000. I'm part of the TCS as a team, which we built
Yeah.
tool called Genser. If you know
Yeah.
Genser, and we open sourced it.
Right.
And bytecode instrumentation, first time it was exposed, so we built a tool that can do that, and it could replay the JVM, and this was a decade back. It could replay the
Remember-
entire JVM
Yep.
or whatever happens, and it's still there on opensourceforge.net.
Yeah.
It is there.
Yeah.
At that time, the biggest challenge that we want is, can we replay the entire IT?
Yeah.
That was a very complex thing. If you can imagine, almost 13, 14 years back,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
an extremely difficult task where
you
multi-core
had-
even not even there,
And you had
single thread.
Wiley, and you had remember
Yeah,
Performant.
Performant
Performant
was
was
there.
the- Quest.
Yes, Wiley was there, and it's
Yeah.
very difficult for them to do because we don't have enough CPU computing to do all that.
no.
And we
Right.
did a
It was
JVM replay.
it was just too early.
too early, and I always wished, can we replay the entire IT?
Is it
And
the
they are
Pentium
coming up
3?
with now. And that was
Replay.
a very replay, IT replay,
Replay.
and that was really exciting for me because I was looking forward for it.
Watch
Yeah.
out, Tea Leaf.
Yeah,
So
T-Leaf also
sorry.
has that.
For
right.
real.
Right.
Well, T-Leaf. Well, I think one of the big. Don't quote me on this, but I think one of the big differences. I don't think T-Leaf can handle single page apps.
No, it cannot do so much, but again, they got the concept. They're
they
trying
were
to match
they were
subtlety.
there.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
there. I mean,
They
they
were.
definitely
Oh,
built
they
a
should own
big,
it.
strong.
Right.
How long you
They
been there?
were-
You've been
they
there
were
more than
the-
10
they
years.
were
You
the big
own the
people.
place.
Yes.
You
But-
either you own the place or you go home.
Right.
The-
Either you innovate or perish.
Qumran, which we bought, they took a whole new approach. I don't know the underneath.
What is it again?
Qumran.
Qumran.
Qumran?
Qumran.
That's the that's the replay.
Oh,
so
replay.
a few months
Okay.
ago we
The
announced that we
acquisition.
bought this company, Qumran.
I just like saying it.
development teams in
And
Barcelona.
I like saying 84 Lumber.
No, 84 lumber.
yes, it's from last
84 Lumber.
Yeah.
year.
Right.
But yeah, we went and searched for like the innovators of a replay technology, and
Yes.
this is who we came up with. So
Yep.
I'm really curious myself to find out what's under the hood of this,
Yep.
how it's going to work.
Yep.
There's so many questions I have about this thing, and
Yeah.
Right.
I just think, I'm
Yeah.
really excited about that one.
Awesome. So nice performance story.
Yep.
Yes,
Thank you
so
very much
Yep.
for doing
Sure.
it. But we had,
Thank
I
you.
know we had crossed paths before,
Yep.
so it's
Yeah.
good. It's good
Really
to see
nice
you.
meeting you, Mark.
Do you still listen to the podcast?
You should listen to. Do you listen to Pure
You listen to his
Performance?
podcast too, right?
Again,
Ours is not
nowadays
so
I'm getting
good,
much
right?
time because
Pure
of the
per-
24
You
by
could
7
say no. You
because
could say, you know what,
when-
your,
when
yours
you're
is terrible.
exercising.
exercising. That's what you
Yes,
should do.
Driving,
Yes, yes, yes.
commute. You have a
That's
commute.
what I
You
do.
take the train.
True.
While you're
I
while you're
drive, but I
sleeping,
do
you
that.
can listen to it, and subliminally you'll absorb all
That's
the
right.
That's
information.
a good idea. I
You
should
know,
try that.
if you play it backwards, you actually lose the things you learned.
Oh, unlearn.
You unlearn.
Unlearn
Yes.
the learn, which is
See?
what we should do.
Just play it backwards.
Sure, I will do that.
Exactly.
Thank you. Pleasure, guys.
Thank you. It's a
Really.
pleasure to you.
Thank
as
you,
well.
and congratulations on the Sound Cube.
Yep, I look forward for the
You
Echo
have to,
and
you have to go test that thing out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
we've no, you don't have to do it now,
Okay.
but you know,
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I definitely look forward for the Echo and
you think you're
UFO
going to win,
because that is something that I really want to play and probably.
but you think you're going to win. You're feeling
Yes.
the feeling.
Yes, yes.
It's like Vegas. You got to roll the
Yes,
dice, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So that I can present it back to you again. What I did with it next year.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yes.
There's a lot of different things you can do.
Yes.
You know what, James Pulley? You mentioned it's James.
What?
You use the UFO as in your home studio when you're on-air
On air.
recording or not
You
recording.
mean the on-air light?
Yeah.
So you're going to use the entire...
Use the UFO
a
as
smart
all
device.
red. You're on
Yes.
on the air, off the air.
I just signed up for a new home, so that'll be a tool to automate my entire home and
Yeah.
give it.
There you go.
So
All
that's
right.
what I need to win it.
If this then that, you can put the UFO on IFTTT.
Okay, excellent. Thank
It
you.
works with home security, not enterprise, so definitely I can put it at home.
Right.
That is awesome.
All right, thanks, Rob.
Awesome.
Meet you.
And enjoy the rest of the show. Brian,
Yes. Oh, you know what? I'm not simulcasting. I'll have
You're
to give this
not?
one-
what happened? Oh,
I unplugged myself before.
how did you unplug
I'm
yourself?
doing blank. I'm going to turn this off.
Who knows?
Anyway, I think we'll take another little break.
Yeah, no. Wait a minute. How?
How am I getting
You are-
audio in here? Oh, because it's picking up the live.
No, dude. How is that?
Because it's
what-
coming. It's
what it's-
taking. It's taking this stuff
off of the headphones.
off of the speaker here. The thing,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm going to stop that.
Oh, that's fine. That's weird, but it's fine.
I'll leave it for now.
No, it's getting it off the alpha.
I think it's just saying it is.
But
It's
how?
not, the alpha's not plugged in
But how is it being responsive then?
because this has a built-in mic. I think it's
That's
just
weird.
coming in from the built-in mic
That's
at this
really
point.
strange. Anyway, all right. Enough of the meta.
Enough of the meta.
This is when things get really crazy usually at Dynatrace Perform, because
Because what?
because we end up drinking a little scotch, and we ask people to come and give their performance stories.
Yes.
Yes, and we give things away. And
Yeah,
there
I'm
was
gonna-
there
I'm
were a
gonna
couple
stop on
stories
mine.
I don't have on the list here that I have to go through and remember. I also,
I have to stop my simulcast meta.
or we'll just copy it over.
Yeah, we'll do it later.
Anyway, so Brian, we're coming to the close of day one,
We are coming
which
to
is
the
really
close.
day two for you and me.
Yes, there have been long
You notice
days.
here's the subtlety. Third year we're doing this live
Second-
podcast.
yes.
Is there any? If you do go to, you weren't at Perform. This
No,
is your
this
second Perform.
Yeah.
Now, do you notice anything demonstrably different?
Well, there's
This
a
year over
large
last year.
AWS booth, very tall. They figured out, they probably asked, what's the ceiling height?
Yeah.
I did notice that.
Okay.
Well,
Well, that's a very
it seems a lot
physical
more
thing that
lively.
you would
It
witness.
seems a lot more lively.
Yeah.
I mean, last year was pretty good, but it just
Ecosystem
seems,
of partners seems bigger.
Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Klaus.
Mark, can you believe it?
Hold on.
What-
You need a microphone.
He's going to help you.
I'm going to see when this microphone comes on. Oh, this is really loud.
Yeah, come on now.
Okay. Whoa, what's the
All right,
difference in the
what do
volume?
you want me to believe?
Mark.
Can
Let's
I
go back
believe
here.
something?
Mark.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? It's the first time ever that the two of us are talking to each other here at Perform on your podcast. We never ever had the chance, and it's now like 4 times you are with us.
This is our third year
Third
at
year?
Perform. Now, the first year you did a drive-by, and you said a few things on the mic,
Right.
right? But we didn't get to talk at length.
I think last
No.
year he gave you the middle
Nothing.
finger, didn't he?
No.
And last year I think you just walked by, said nothing, gave us a dirty look. No, I'm kidding.
No, I think I was just passing by and saying,
You were trying to
I'm trying to
were trying to
impress
lose
you
weight
with
to
being
fit-
like, I'm the super stressed guy.
You were
Yes.
trying to lose weight to fit into your lederhosen.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
I have
you
my
were
lederhosen
exercising.
as well.
Yes.
Actually, I left
Sorry.
my lederhosen this year. Lederhosen is at home.
In Orlando, the later
Home
Hosen,
in
remember
Orlando?
the big outdoor plaza, and everyone got a little intoxicated?
Yeah.
The food was quite good, though.
Yeah.
That was
Absolutely.
That was a
It was
beautiful evening.
beautiful.
You know, right now there's a full moon out.
I haven't
Really?
been outside.
Yeah, I walked outside and had a phone call.
There's an outside.
Oh.
Yeah, there's an outside right up
Do
there.
we have to walk like 15
No,
minutes to
no,
get to the
yes.
outside?
No. Actually, you
45
just
steps
go
right
over
there.
there. There is this
Veranda.
patio. This is awesome. Go there. This is-
How are things going? How's this perform for you?
This perform for me
You were on
is.
the main stage there, weren't you?
No, I was not on main
Not yet.
stage. No, I don't do main stage this year.
You just
No.
you just don't.
So,
I
Klaus,
thought
I
you
just
before
don't.
you continue,
Like-
Klaus, for our listeners, do you want to tell people who? Because I know who you are.
Yeah, who-
Mark knows who you are.
Every-
Who are you?
Everybody knows who I am. And so who's listening to your podcast that they don't know who I am?
Well, you never know. New listeners.
Yeah. Okay, so
What-
my
what-
name
what
is
are you
Klaus.
doing now? Even if we mentioned you in the
What
past.
What I'm doing now is I'm trying to do a little bit of technology strategy for Dynatrace.
Okay.
And for Perform. Perform is kind of my baby.
Yeah.
I grew it from the very first one where we had like 60 people to
It
now
was like-
over
I remember-
thousands.
I remember talking to you the first time. It was like less than 100 people, but
Yeah.
it was good. It was like
Now,
it
was
a
this
good
performed
100 people.
performed back in the Dynatrace solo days you're talking about?
Dynatrace solo days before CompuWare.
Yeah.
Because I went to one as a customer,
Yeah,
the one that one of our favorite competitors is out handing out leaflets.
exactly that one.
That one. Okay.
Exactly that
At that. What was that? That
That's
hotel.
pretty cool.
That
You
was,
know you're disrupting something if you can get that out of your competition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
You're doing
definitely.
exactly the right thing.
I remember.
This is the new fashion
Put
style,
it both
by the
up
way.
there, yeah. And now, yeah, we put it together. Andy, your listeners know Andy, right? Andy
Well, 'cause
Grabner.
we're also
We don't
co-broadcasting.
know anything.
Nobody
about
knows Andy.
We're also
but,
broadcasting on the Pure Performance
Pure
podcast
Performance.
right now. Although not really. 'Cause
it. Wait, has he been on Pure Performance?
Yep,
He has.
you have,
Yep.
Twice?
yes.
twice
Well, no,
in
you've
a row.
been on Cafe at least a few times, but I don't know if you've been on.
He's been on Cafe
You've been on
once
Pure
and-
Performance at least once, I think, but I don't know if you've been on the actual full-length show. Because we have two shows: Pure Performance and Pure Performance Cafe.
Right.
One is the
so,
shorter show.
So that's the
Okay.
competition.
Competition is
The
for the longer
competition?
show.
Okay.
It's like the Saturday Night Live Tom Hanks kind of, you know.
Well, Alec Baldwin. Well, he
Baldwin.
didn't. He's not
Steve
hosting
Martin.
though. Steve Martin.
So I'm gonna get back on Pure. I'm gonna beat you. I have to
Okay.
be on more than anyone. Is there anyone else done a threefer?
Marcus Heimlich, not Heimlich, Heimbach.
Heimbach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been on twice, and we've scheduled a third recording 2 times and had to cancel so far.
So
He's about to break to number 3.
here's my issue. They counted as sessions.
Recording sessions.
I've actually been on more episodes.
Yeah.
I've been on 3 episodes.
Right, but we only
Okay.
sat down with you.
It's not fair. So if you're a listener at home, that's 3 individual
I
episodes,
might have to
right?
but
Totally.
see, but here's the reason why it's a problem. Because if I do change it
I'm throwing
to
a flag on
if
the
I
play.
change it to episodes, I'm gonna have to go back through the entire history and recalculate all that. I don't want to do that.
You would need to do that. Anyway, so you're doing tech strategy.
Tech strategy
What
for
is the
Dynatrace.
future of the UFO?
The future of the UFO.
Because I have ideas.
You have ideas?
Power over Ethernet.
First of all, we have to shrink it.
The mini UFO.
Mini
The
UFO.
personal edition.
The personal edition, yes. You have to wear it. We have to make a wearable out of it. What do you
Like
think?
a medallion?
Yeah,
or a
yeah,
watch?
yeah.
Like Flavor
medallion
Flav.
would be
You
more
like
cool.
Flavor
It's
Flav, right?
It says like, hey,
Kinda like
green.
Flavor Flav
I'm
with
like,
the big-
yeah.
That would be the big. You could do the mini. I think you could do a big watch version.
I'm thinking Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Dr. Theopolis.
Yes.
That's the name of my cell phone, actually. You could do a watch version because you could have the UFO tell time. You know, the hands of the clock.
Yeah, we could.
So you could have as a watch, it could tell time and then do other things.
tell
What
you
if you
about
make
the
it-
Babylon status.
What if you
But-
make it? Ooh! Great
What?
idea. Great. I got it. It's not going to be UFO anymore, though. It's going to be a shock collar. So if it turns red, you get zapped.
Oh, I don't want to wear one of those.
Well, okay, now
This is
there
like-
are certain cultures in certain parts of the world
Where that
I
would
think
be-
that would be totally acceptable.
Totally acceptable.
The Tenderloin district.
So I'm
in
glad that
downtown
I'm
San
living in
It's
Francisco.
Austria.
also a form of a wearable.
It's a wearable.
And you could wear it in other places too. That could be could be
I
interesting.
think that's.
yeah, exactly.
I totally get
Come on,
where you're
that
going.
would-
with this.
we would
So
be
maybe
disruptive.
mini-
People would pay attention to us. We would get press.
Totally. But I try to disrupt with something that is a little bit
That's
less.
moral.
With beauty.
Yeah, moral.
That's
Moral is the
moral.
right term. Yeah.
Maybe ethically
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. And actually help a little bit.
But outside
More-
of just miniaturization, which I dig from
Yeah.
I do like the at my desk
Mm-hmm.
personal feedback because we still operate individual engineers, individual check-ins in empowered individuals in the chain, right? They can see the shared accountability and impact of their actions, but it might be nice to have certain things that are just for you before it goes to the shared world. So you
Yeah.
could instrument individually on the pipeline with a personal UFO, and if you don't respond there, eventually the big UFO is going to go red.
yeah. And
So,
you know
but
what?
that's empowerment.
You know what would be really cool? Maybe you can help me here. I'm looking for a meme. What can I put in front of the business guys so that they start caring about what we care today. This
So-
is
so
a
that's,
thought that I'm having.
The PM UFO?
The PM UFO or even the CEO UFO?
CUFO.
Here-
You put somebody
I'm
bleeding
CUFO.
money.
Yeah.
The KUFO.
We've got all this fancy automation,
Yeah.
right? Things are going, but we're promising responsiveness, increased frequency, flexibility, push whenever you want to push, don't push, over, right? And the manual intervention can come on high. We were going to push this. No real hardware changes required. Give the UFO manual override button to the executive branch so they can send a special signal to all the UFOs, stop what you're doing. Or go faster, and if maybe special lights, if you meet this sprint, there's more money at the end of the pipeline, at the end of the sprint. I mean, you could give more from an corner office standpoint. They do things like we just found out something for our corporate intel on the competition. We need to accelerate a feature or not. So maybe you give them the throttle, push the spinners
The
faster.
pipeline
Well,
throttle.
you know,
Back,
Mark, there's a
stop the
chance that you
pipeline.
might accidentally uncover an edge-level epileptic, once that thing starts strobing.
That's an HR difficulty that they'll have to
Yeah.
work out. No disrespect to actual people with serious epilepsy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's right.
You know someone. So I have another idea for it outside of the business side, but right before we were talking about the
Epileptic
developer
seizure.
side, when we were talking about the developer side, right? So for people who commute via their cars to work, right? You know, like the breathalyzer, you can't start your car until you breathe into it. If you you can't start if you leave
the
work,
UFO
you
is
check in
not
your code
green,
and you go to
you
start your
can't
car,
leave- you-
and your thing is not green,
We-
your car will
'cause
not
it's
turn
car
over and
automation.
start. And you know you got to go back.
That's an interesting one
Have
because
you
it's a
seen,
little bit more
automotive
impactful.
grade Linux?
Yeah, so automotive grade
You can
Linux.
embed-
you
you
could do
can
that.
embed
Yeah, yeah.
a
Maybe
a UFO widget right in the center console.
Maybe the smart cars of the future, we
They won't
can
start.
get that in as like,
All right.
Take me home.
We could leverage our agents there.
There you go. And even
So
if
it's
you have
like a
self-driving
closed
car, be like,
system.
Take me home.
Here's
no,
another-
go back to the office and
Here's
fix your
another
problem.
idea.
Klaus.
Another one for you. In hardware enhancement to the UFO, add webcam. So you could see.
So you can see that an
interaction-
empty office.
interaction, right?
Or you can see the fear on everybody's face
Or-
when it
Only
goes
when it goes red does it record. Yeah.
And maybe make it part of a fun thing. Like if you get a bunch of people and they get it to go green, it has a countdown to the team who just got green to do it, and it'll post it to the social media from the camera because they'll all do the like a UFO selfie. When you get it to go green, and you're like, yeah, like capture the celebration. Or if it goes red and you see somebody standing there going,
Capture the
"Holy
despair.
crap." The despair, right? You could capture that as well.
We can just
That's
make it shoot
really
lasers.
good ideas that you are
Webcam-
having here.
Webcam on the
this
UFO.
is- gonna go
Webcam there. We have a miniaturization wearable thing now.
Yeah.
And
Forget
we
the
have the
shock
throttle.
collar. I think that's
yeah,
wrong.
we forget about
Next
that.
year, Perform, you're going to see all of these ideas in real life.
Let's
All right.
see.
Set aside the UFO. That we do know some things. AI with Davis were maybe going to escape. Just Alexa. Does Davis have a future out in the wild as well?
Actually, a lot of customers are already adopting
Already
it.
asking for
for
that,
that. Actually, Davis kind of became the UFO for the sea levels. Just ask him, hey, is there a problem?
So you put voice recognition and a speaker
Yeah.
inside the
Yeah.
UFO. Good idea. They
Actually-
become one thing.
Actually, Alexa is a good topic.
Yeah.
You know that we can monitor Alexa skills?
Ooh. I think I did hear that.
No, you haven't?
What would,
You
yeah,
did
what,
just-
would be, what would be interesting from a failed Alexa skill?
Alexa, open the
You know what I
pod bay
mean?
doors.
But, no, I mean, like, let's say you created a mission critical
Yeah.
app whereby, in some business case,
Actually, we already created it. We
Yeah.
added to our Easy Travel an Alexa skill for Easy Travel. You can book your travel
Ooh, cool.
by talking to Alexa.
through voice recognition.
Through voice
on.
recognition, yeah, absolutely. I demoed this today
And
during
so
my presentation.
If you're going to start using voice recognition as a means of a work objective, productivity,
Yeah.
getting a task completed, Yeah, you'll need to monitor the device because it's not the employee's fault if something's faulty within the voice recognition.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Klaus, I must reboot now.
Yeah, I've heard that today.
That would, I
Yeah.
think that would have really come in handy for Jeff Bezos when he said,
Yes.
you know, Alexa, please buy me, pick up something from Whole Foods. And they bought Whole Foods because of a mistake. In
Yeah.
the,
No, we
that was
Yes.
a bad meme that was
I
going
don't
on
think
for a
he
long
heard
time.
your joke.
So there's a
No, don't say it again.
No, I'm not
It's
going to
too
say
late
it
now.
I'll tell a cow joke.
No, do not. Oh, wait a minute. You're only allowed
You
one
can-
cow.
you can ask
only-
Alexa
you
to
know
tell
his
a
cow
joke,
jokes?
huh?
He has cow jokes.
You have cow jokes?
Lots
And
of
the
cow
joke's
jokes.
on you when you hear it.
Okay.
Do you want one?
Do you want a cow joke? You're our
Yes,
guest right now.
I need a cow joke.
All right,
Okay,
go
so
for it.
cow and a dog walk into a bar.
Car. Okay.
Cow and a dog walk into a bar. And the cow says, hey, barkeep, I'll have a vodka tonic. The cow's like, all right, dog, what are you going to have? He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to have a White Russian. And the cow is like, hey, wait a minute. Does White Russian have milk in it? And the dog's like, yeah, it does. The cow says, that sounds delicious. I'll have one too. So the joke's on you for thinking this is a joke. See, this is my routine. I got a ton of them. I can keep going.
That's awful.
So we have
Just like that's two
we
in a
have
row
Rodney
that are
Dangerfield
terrible.
here,
Hey.
and we have Steve Martin and Happy Feet here.
It's terrible. All right.
And we have Tor Johnson
I
over
can't-
here
I can't wait to hear the next terrible cow joke
tomorrow.
from Brian. Tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow.
Tomorrow
for the next
morning
terrible
over
cow
breakfast.
2
Hey,
a day.
How's your experience of the facilities, the food?
You get exercise
thank
going
you
to the
Dynatrace.
elevator?
Actually, you made us VIP.
Oh.
Laura, apparently we rank.
joke. So what does that get you?
Why? I'm not a VIP.
I have no idea. Uprated swag.
We're Perf Bites 3 years running. We're VIPs, which means we have access to the VIP lounge.
Where's
Okay.
that?
Hold,
Yeah,
hold on.
they have free massage.
Oh.
There's
Okay,
a
you get
VIP lounge.
$1,000 every time you say the word Dynatrace. I don't know if you know that. It's awesome.
I'm
I
taking
say
your badge now.
Dynatrace a lot.
You know what? I did not. I was not aware of these benefits.
Mark's been holding on to all the money and the massage for you.
I thought you knew about the.
I had no idea.
Oh, great. Dynatrace. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
No, actually, it's a great place.
good.
It's awesome.
different.
It's
So are you
totally
staying
different
15
to last
minutes?
year.
Is your elevator shaft 15 minutes from here?
No,
That's
actually,
a-
mine
that is
is
a personal
3
question.
minutes walking.
Okay, so you got one
So
of the.
I had one
did you
of
know-
the
did you know that-
preferred rooms.
Andy brought us some Austrian whiskey. Actually, I think maybe you brought it.
Or Alois.
No,
Alois
Alois
brought it,
brought
that's
it. It was not me.
Yeah. But you know about
It was
this?
pretty good.
Often,
I enjoyed it.
Affentella.
Affentella. It's a young
Yeah.
distiller. He's new
Yeah,
to do it.
totally.
But it's good. It's apple. The first thing he said is it's apple.
That's the first thing I smelled.
Yeah. Not
Okay.
Affentella.
Yeah,
But
it's
Offen, which means
Affentella.
monkey-
Actually, it would be monkey. Monkey
Monkey.
cells.
Monkey sales.
Yeah, like the cells that you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, monkey
Yeah.
cells. Okay.
Yeah, monkey cells.
Monkey
Yeah, that
something.
would be
You
a word
dying?
translation. Yeah.
His battery.
His
died.
mic is dead.
He's
Oh.
taking 2 seconds. So Klaus, we've had I mean, obviously there's some other announcements tomorrow that we're not going to go into, but from the things announced, I mean, no one here is listening, but people at home, we'll still keep them in waiting. But there was a lot announced today,
Wow,
right? We
Yeah.
had the
it was great. We had
management
log
zones, we had the
analytics.
log analytics, the RUM KPIs, the
Yeah.
replay.
Yeah.
I know what my favorite is. What's your favorite of those?
Oh. My personal favorite. Well, it helps me a lot with customer interactions. Therefore, my personal favorite is the management zones, actually.
A lot of people have been saying that. It's one of those
it's
core
deceptively cool.
But-
It sounds like boring.
It's not-
No,
It's
it's a
but it's
disruptor.
actually
Total
enables really
disruptor.
cool stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one
It's
of those
like-
core functions that
Remember back in Admon, they asked us, "Hey, how
Talk
can
on
we,
the mic.
how can we divide things better? How can we
Yeah.
handle visibility better?" But we said, like back in Admon, it was like you lose visibility
Right.
by enabling it. In this, with management zones, and that's why I love it so much. Is like you can limit visibility without losing the connectivity.
Right.
So somebody else still sees what's going on. And you still can figure out the root cause.
And you could still have access to all of the traditional users, groups, roles, the things that you would have connected to Active Directory or LDAP, whatever directory service. But now you have the ability to slice and dice very differently the entire. Plus, is there some efficiencies within the engine for all the query stuff, because you're not quite doing full search queries, so you maybe have some better performance built into the stack internally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's that people will appreciate that, especially larger installations.
Yes, totally.
They will appreciate that.
And look at the customers that are here. It's like insane. Today, I had a panel discussion today.
Let me ask you, is there any customer that has 100,000 agents?
Yeah.
100,000 agents.
200,000.
Really?
No.
So we're right now, if you think about a single customer with between, what is it, 150,
110?
So the first one to cross 200,000 on one agent.
Yep. They are on one agent.
Okay, there you go.
So that's the largest one.
So there you go. But that's two
No,
really, really big installations.
Yeah. Just take a look at. I had a panel discussion this afternoon.
Yeah.
About user analytics future.
Yeah.
And I was organizing it, and actually it was at the point in time when I was on stage, I realized we had there a KBC Bank, a MasterCard, a TIAA, a T-Mobile, a Sherwin-Williams, all of them. No, you were not on my panel.
So sad.
Yeah. But I had all of them.
I taught those guys something.
Like that, they're just incredible, and they have ideas. Hey, we need this, we need that. Like, this is the future where we are going. And actually, some of it really relates to the other two announcements that we had around real user monitoring and session replay.
Yeah.
This is a total game changer for Dynatrace again,
because
we haven't had that visibility, and we have now a totally great data set. And one of the panelists, you know what they say? Business doesn't know what business doesn't know. He's like,
that's the
we're sitting now on a wealth of data
model of epistemology.
Yeah.
There's the known knowns, there's the known unknowns, and then there's the unknown unknowns.
Yes, it was unknown that Donald Rumsfeld was the first performance tester.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to say, replay is.
But let me put this to you, Brian.
Yes.
What about the unknown knowns?
I can't tell you about those.
Right. See.
So you bring up replay, and that's the one that's got me most curious. I mean, I understand management zones, tremendously important, but in terms of excitement of, wow, what can we possibly, what's the potential that we can do with this? I think replay just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to get my hands on, start playing with,
definitely has
out.
some direct competitors, definitely in the testing space, but T-Leaf
Oh, in
operations.
fact, we were talking to
who
did we talk to earlier? Who was saying, I want to use replay on my Selenium tests, so when that one of my tests fails, I can go back and watch it.
Yes,
exactly.
Not even real user monitoring. Who was
that?
that?
That was Neotis. That was Heinrich Rexed.
Right.
He's like, I want to have a visual record of what happened.
Yes.
During the test, so I can hand it off to the developers.
Yeah.
Which is totally not even what I mean. Yeah. Real user, you can watch your browser-driven test.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's total game changer. Also, think about, hey, you are arguing with your marketing team about tracking pixels.
Wait a minute.
And the impact.
You argue with your marketing team? But
I think every person
has it changed?
I have an infinitely harmonious relationship. Performance, marketing, we love one another. It's
for sure.
Beautiful. It's like the age of Aquarius.
I love it too. It's like
they always call me when they want to run some promotion.
They
always say, "Hey, I don't know much about computers, but you might want some more of those Vims? You need more Vimmies? Is that what you need?"
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
what they say to me.
Yeah.
Because I just put a 4 megabyte image on the homepage. Woohoo!
Holy shit. And that was performance gone.
Yes.
And this is actually, I had one
default shopping cart to the landing page.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, nice. No,
Actually, that probably was on the tech guys. They just said shopping cart, and they wanted the image of a shopping cart, not an actual shopping cart. And in some worst cases, like
really
you click on that button, and a guy shows up at your front door with an actual shopping cart. I thought you said the customer wanted a shopping cart, so we had Amazon send them a shopping cart to their house, like drops in a junk, right? An actual shopping cart. Isn't that what that means?
Exactly.
I'm trying to understand these technology things. It's hard.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of
key performance indicators, key performance metrics.
I love that
the
one too.
Flexibility of that.
Is
Let me tell you
just
something.
tremendously.
So I mentioned on main stage in PayPal, we're working in this new agile to durable teams, very entrepreneurial, independent, small, autonomous teams. Fits with, you can choose DevOps. If you have a durable team, you want to do waterfall, whatever, you have more autonomy, right? Some of them are still going to be held accountable to define what's my KPI. And from a business value perspective, they're still going to have to, how are you going to measure this feature, this thing you're building in very small ways? If you just came to them and said, you can only really do the key performance metric based on two things for AppDex. Now, like you have a durable team, and we can speak this KPI language more specifically to how are you measuring the tolerating, frustrated types of things with that in that model or other models to be able to measure this more specifically for the business. So to me, that made perfect sense even in my world.
Thanks. And what do you think about the SaaS vendor announcement? The SaaS vendor stuff?
Yeah.
Did you miss that one?
Oh, the browser plugin.
Everybody going into the cloud, even with all their CRM systems and whatever.
I think this is a game changer. Because
is it?
You got to get on the mic.
So many different companies are moving from metal to platform as a service onto software as a service, and they lack the visibility under SaaS that they had previously under other solutions. The only thing that they have available, absent some sort of browser plugin, is up-down. And it also forces their relationship with their SaaS provider to be one-dimensional, up or down. Now that I have performance metrics, I can shape that relationship with the SaaS vendor to say, not only are you going to give me availability, but you're going to give me performance on specific pages which are important to my business. And previously, I've examined this question. The only other path was to go through a web proxy, pull the logs for the W3C time taken, and collect that data. It's a lot simpler to have a deployable package to be installed in every browser that's in the enterprise with a particular domain under examination, and then be able to collect all of those statistics. And it's going to provide additional insight. For instance, let's say Birmingham, Alabama is always slow,
right,
for whatever reason that you couldn't see otherwise.
Totally.
So here's my thought. LoadRunner product manager, former LoadRunner product manager. Right. So we figured out how to take things at the transport level, protocols, right? And our licensing model had this, you sell support, even though it was all maybe TCP connections, we didn't have the TCP virtual user. We had Tuxedo, FTP, SMTP, HTTP, 16 other different versions of branded protocols, and we sold the kits, whatever your app needed. Here's my question. You guys are licensing this as part of a UEM or RUM. It's the SaaS plugin. And you get out of the box all this list of SaaS vendors. Why didn't you make this like massive money-making idea of you have to buy a license for Office 365, you have to buy a license for Salesforce, you have to buy a license for...
It would be totally against our core principles. Make it easy for our customers.
For everyone.
For everyone to get the data, to consume the data. This is it. That's why actually the whole real user monitoring part is covered with this single session count.
Is a visit.
And the individual...
Actually, maybe I have to correct you. This is marketing term language. It's totally wrong. Okay. It's a session, is a session, is a session, is a session.
Right.
Whether it's a mobile, it's from Alexa, it's from the SaaS vendor. or from your traditional web, it doesn't matter. That's where it's coming from.
So you're right, and you're putting an emphasis from those principles on the practitioner who one day says, I've been supporting everyone on Office 365. Now they're telling me, stop that, move to Google.
Doesn't matter. And go ahead. Go to Salesforce.
Right? If
go ahead. You still have the same data.
Go ahead. Just move it.
Just move it.
That you'll be one less
ServiceNow.
barrier, but actually more of an enabler. So here's the performance my users enjoyed on SaaSpot vendor A, and we're going to do the same thing with their competitor, and we have the agility to move there because it's a better deal or because the users want that.
Go for it.
Or you have durable teams, so new durable team spins up. They want to be a Google thing. These guys are Amazon and Office 365. Those guys are Azure. You don't have to say, oh, well, I'm sorry, you can't do your work because you need a license for that protocol. Sorry, that's the load runner model.
So I just thought of a very meta use for it. When you buy it, you go ahead and monitor your usage of your tenant, feeding it back into your own tenant, feeding it back into the data you consume, feeding it back into your
Which
tenant.
creates a paradox,
a vortex
in the universe that destroys
So I have
all
a
matter.
question about the SaaS admin.
You didn't get that.
Okay, let's look at this from a security perspective. Let's say I have a negative list. I have a list of domains which are allowed, but I want to understand the user experience every time my user community goes to something that's not official. Let's say they're cruising, I don't know, a Microsoft site and you're a Java shop. You want to understand hey, someone's going to Microsoft and what their user experience is. Now, they might be going to something more offensive than a competing vendor. They might be going to an adult website. Not that ever happens inside of a corporate enterprise. Could you use this from a security perspective and just say blacklist, whitelist, and when we have a blacklisted site, we actually just go and collect metrics from it?
It's a whitelist thing. So you name it, you get it. So, but it's a good idea to come up with blacklist kind of monitoring as well. Would help you in a security area.
It's the Russians.
The Russian websites?
It's
Yeah.
definitely a Russian issue.
Okay.
Don't you think?
No, I don't think so.
Now the NSA is listening to our podcast. Which, hey guys, woohoo! You want to learn about performance? Actually, I know the FBI has this fantastic storage array that really, really cool. They have some amazing storage, big data capabilities.
Yeah, actually
internally, you ever go internally in the federal government and see
Mark,
they have the internal?
No, I'm not allowed. I'm not a U.S. person, so.
If we have done that, we're not allowed to say on the air.
Oh, but they have some really cool stuff.
Actually, yeah,
Just
I was surprised.
performance-wise.
So when the whole leak came up,
Yeah.
well, I was surprised and like, holy crap, we could learn something from them.
Yeah.
I mean, they must have super performing
It's
software and hardware.
And they do sort of super performance stuff on sort of old school architecture, right? So classic spinning disk
Those
stuff.
spinning tapes are going.
Biometric matching.
Yeah, but you can tell the federal government be like, you see those tape things running over there? Yeah, we need 150,000 times the throughput. And they're like, great, I got a barn in Nebraska, and I'll just fill it with those machines. HP, how much you want for all that? Okay, here you go. So a whole division was born, and you can go find a barn in the middle of Nebraska that's filled with nothing but those tape machines, but they are getting 3 gigabytes per second out of that.
Here we go. That's it.
I made that up. I just want you to know. Absolutely, I don't know any secret.
You
things.
heard it here first.
No, you didn't, actually. And my name is not Mark Tomlinson. My name is Klaus.
Klaus Pulley.
Klaus Pulley. That's right. Yeah, just throw him off. Be fine. From South Austria.
South Austria.
Right? Is there such thing as South
Eastern
there is a South Austria.
Central Austria.
Or actually,
They
there's
have
just
spicy food in South Austria.
And everyone there has a draw and they play banjos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Do
That's
you know
it.
anyone from Austria that plays the banjo?
Can you do accents?
No.
Can you do like a southern accent?
Like an
Southern
American,
American.
Can you talk
Not
like James a little bit? You
really.
know, hi, my name's James Pulley.
Hi, my name is.
It doesn't-
No, it doesn't work.
Not gonna work.
So it's mine. It's my accent is an Austrian
I'm just
accent.
curious if you could like break through, like do the Austrian accent doing the southern accent.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put on
No,
your
I can only do the
super
Arnie
strategic
accent.
technology
All the way back.
direction strategy, Klaus strategy tech guru. I'm just going to put the mobile app UFO on the list.
Mobile app,
Just
UFO.
just to kind of, because I think it's kind of trapped in the format that
It is today, yeah.
And just adoption-wise, people like,
Yeah,
I
but
can
IoT
experience-
is such a great thing these days.
And then you'll get an alert. Then you'll get an alert on your
but
phone,
you
which
might,
no one
I
gets.
think it could go viral.
okay.
And
It's
you
new.
would get more
New
people
idea.
on
Follow
board,
it.
and then people who loved the idea
So, Mark,
would start saying, let's get a real UFO.
So
I would
Mark-
put in a vote for, give me a mobile app experience that is the UFO. You could make it light up. You could make it do cool stuff and deliver some of the same functionalities, visually.
could you
That's
put this
cool.
in the Apple App Store or the Google
Yeah.
App Store for the VUFO,
The
the virtual UFO,
the virtual UFO.
the VUFO?
But the best part of B is you can have it send you an alert
yeah.
amongst all the other alerts you have.
Yep. On
Well,
change.
you won't be getting a lot of other
could-
alerts
and
because you
could
only get one for a
and
problem.
You could select your notifications and maybe change the color scheme.
Just change the color of your screen.
But I
when
mean, it
it's
would be
when it's
another way to
on.
bring people into the experience of the idea of it.
VUFO.
VUFO.
The
Add it to the
mobile
list
UFO.
of prediction.
Actually, it would be MUFO.
See, when people
AI,
wonder where new ideas
mobile
for Dynatrace
UFO.
come, it's from sessions like this. We heard earlier there was like the hotel session. This was what it was. It was the four of us standing around talking about what do we need and coming up with crazy ideas. This is exactly how this stuff happens.
By the way, if people don't even know about the Dynatrace UFO at this point, they can go to just search GitHub. Is
GitHub.
it GitHub? You can
There's
look
a
for
fun
Dynatrace.
video.
GitHub,
This is a
Dynatrace
really fun
UFO,
video.
and you're there.
There's an
Yeah.
extremely fun video
Yeah.
if you go to YouTube and search Dynatrace UFO.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
That's
that awesome
the
video with what's
UFO.
who's the one who's doing the video?
Michael.
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 Let's give him yes, give him a shout out. It's a great
Yeah.
video.
That's great. What else should we know? What's coming
Can't spoil.
tomorrow? Big
Tomorrow.
stuff coming.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow
Hang on.
there's big stuff
That's right.
coming.
We're still broadcasting tomorrow, so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
We picked up the things this morning. We talked about log analytics. We talked about management zones. We talked about the browser plugin coolness.
Yep.
I kind of like the flexibility of the key performance
good thing.
metrics. Actually,
Yep.
from that's
Well, the
pretty
funny
cool.
thing is, that's one of those ones where like, well, yeah, of course we have that.
But then you're like,
You know,
So I predict we're going to have a very large AI discussion tomorrow.
I think we're going to have one tonight
oh, at the Whiskey Attic.
because my intelligence is
I
artificially predicting that.
think maybe we are talking AI ops.
Huh.
IOPS.
IOPS.
Right.
IOPS.
It's already taken.
IOPS.
I think it's AI in development. I think you invade the static analysis space.
Okay. So you're removing the ops totally.
No,
So it's
because
just-
there's no difference.
Okay.
No,
My
we're
code
we're
runs here,
pushing
my code
the
runs there.
question
Who cares where?
downstream. So if we're pushing the pattern
Shift
analysis downstream, earlier in the process, we identify the pattern, we recommend the solution, and it is a least cost fix in that case.
Sounds great. Another term that I want to throw here in round, APIs. What do you think about APIs? Useful, useless? What is it?
First of all, it's been a battleground in the testing world for a long time. It was a differentiator between tools, versions of APIs, all that kind of stuff. And you look at, what was it, SmartBear? Really was Ready API. They had a whole program, all the tools aligned with it. And I think a lot of people that fanaticize current REST API architectures, if you go back, here's a stupid static tunnel of an EDI transaction coming in some weird flat file. That's an API. I mean, it's an application. It's another application. I tell you, give me this data. I mean, this is nothing new. But
I would love if the developers would actually hold it static long enough to test it for more than 3 cycles.
yeah,
So it's,
So you want to establish a baseline, basically.
let me tell
well,
you.
you know, if I'm going to compare test to test, if the developer keeps changing all of the parameters,
Of the API, you
how
mean.
am I going to have a framework and performance to actually do this performance testing
Right.
if everything changes in every build?
I would like to treat an API like a child,
But you
which
mean,
is an API is born. It has
let's see how he likes to treat
experience.
children.
It doesn't have experience. We have telemetry data on it. over a certain period of time, or we don't. And so we're informing a rules engine or AI based on what we know about this new API. And then if that new child has siblings, and maybe we have blended families or extended cousins, and the dependency mapping piece comes in handy. We already have a transaction flow from the old world, but we have all the fantastic mapping for the topologies now, right? So I think the next thing would be to understand trust of the child, because as the API is new, I may not trust it to take on new workloads, and then would predict, I know you want to run a batch job that's going to hit this new API, but my sources tell me, Davis tells me, we don't think this API is mature enough. We don't have enough information to know whether it will scale or whether it will crash. So I want to know a little bit of history on that child, along with my view of its capability.
So you want to know when the API becomes a teenager, right?
When I can start trusting it with the car keys. When I
Are
can
you
say,
trusting
go
a
to
teenager?
college. I don't have a teenager.
You don't have a teenager yet? I don't have either. Mine are 3.
Yeah.
So,
This is
but
what
this is the interesting thing. When are you getting your license to run then?
Well,
what is it?
Right,
is it the
operate.
driving license?
Exactly. If this is a new API and it's new to production, and we think somebody has big plans for it, are we asking too much of it too soon?
Can happen.
Context, a different
totally.
When you bring up APIs, are you talking about APIs that customers are building in, or are you talking about APIs within Dynatrace for interfacing?
I threw out the term APIs.
When I think of APIs, I think about interface APIs.
So you just simply threw out the term God and asked for a religious war.
Right.
So here's my thinking, right? My thought. So where my mind goes with APIs is
operationalizing Dynatrace.
Operationalizing Dynatrace, and what my thinking goes through now is, right, we have enterprise products within. I have no idea what's being announced tomorrow, so I'm not even trying to predict.
Making it up.
And we already have some of this to an extent. Having more and more extensible APIs into the product, where it's a hybrid of an enterprise product with an open source outside community, where all different kinds of interfaces are being built into it, managed and stored in GitHub by users, shared and built. All these additional pieces
example,
that can be
Davis
made
and GitHub.
Exactly.
Davis is an API.
Exactly.
Even
Davis is leveraging
simple,
heavily
Even
APIs.
something as simple as some of the JMX monitors I'm creating for Hybris, I'm throwing those up in GitHub. And hey, you guys have better ideas for some of the JMX metrics that'll be better for this application?
Go for it.
Let's do it. But in the meanwhile, we have the rock-solid enterprise application being built by the Dynatrace team that's backing it all. Not necessarily supporting those API creations, but having almost full visibility of the data. And as we were talking with Heinrich, earlier, so Heinrich Rex is from Neodis. They just put out a new plugin where they're going to push their data from their load testing data into Dynatrace, so you're analyzing it all there. So the idea there is we don't care what tool you're using to consume the data as long as you see it all together. It's this openness of data sharing. You have your tools, they have specific purposes, and lets everyone get all the data together to be better.
That's awesome. Thank you for the whole session. I'll leave you hanging with the information. We're talking about APIs tomorrow.
Okay. We can't know about it yet.
You can't know about it, but
so
there will be something
this would
coming.
Be the tease, is what you're suggesting.
Yeah,
that's
good.
the teaser. That's why I threw it out. I want you like.
So after you come off stage tomorrow.
No, I won't be on stage.
You won't be
actually.
Okay. So after the tease is satisfied, we expect you back here for
to
a
tell us what the
discussion
heck you
on
really
APIs.
meant. No, but you'll go to, before that, perform.dynatrace.com to see the live stream.
Right.
So you
If
can
you're not
watch
here,
whatever it is you're talking about happen first thing tomorrow morning. I think, probably. Maybe.
This is a good question.
All right, but tune
Actually,
in.
I couldn't follow
Just
the
tune
main
in.
stage changes. Like,
Maybe could
maybe
be later in the day.
maybe
Could
in the
be,
morning.
but no
Don't
one
miss
can
out.
tell. No one can know.
What's going to happen is a very large UFO is going to come down.
Davis, can you
Burns
tell me
is
when
going to
this
come down
announcement
out
is
of the
gonna be?
UFO with flashing lights and smoke machines and everything, and be
Right.
do an interpretive
You know, it's
dance.
Vegas. Everything can
He's
happen
going
in
to do
Vegas.
an interpretive dance of the API
Without Lederhosen.
feature, right?
Yeah.
I think I nailed it.
I like it.
Yeah, you nailed it. Totally.
Perfect.
So everybody's spoiled now.
So thank you very much.
They're going to be wearing the Intel, full body suit.
No,
That's right.
No product placement.
Yeah, the weird hip-hop dancing. So thank you for joining us. And I will say, you mentioned your daughter, I think?
No, I have 2 sons.
2 sons, but one is just turned 3.
Just turned 3. The other one is 4 months.
You were a new dad at the first Perform when we first met you. Right? Or it was happening.
Yeah.
It was almost.
Yeah.
A little more than 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm feeling old.
There you go.
Yeah, I just turned 44 yesterday, bud.
He's
turning 50.
Next thing you know, you'll be
guys.
losing
Now I'm
weight.
feeling much younger.
Yes.
Hey, thank you.
And Mark is
Thank you, man.
67.
Totally appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
And,
did I say-
and the
Thanks,
race
James.
is on.
Yes.
Thanks,
for
Brian.
who gets
See you
to-
tomorrow.
Who gets on the podcast more often? I'm going for a
Yes.
2 for, 3 for, 4 for.
I'm going to have to reevaluate.
Reevaluate.
Right.
No, you're fine. All right, Klaus, who else should we talk to?
I'm going to go talk to the bathroom.
Oh, all right. Thanks for sharing that with the audience. The kids at home, I'm sure, are really interested in that. Oh, it's fine. We're good. We had a few stories
Yes.
that were good. Other customers came and showed.
I noticed
people
we
just
have far
hanging
fewer
out.
speakers, as in like Bluetooth speakers.
Yes,
To give away.
I was trying to remember all the different people who came to give a story. I think one was Harish, wasn't it? Harish was one. Brian.
We should have written them down.
I
as
know,
they were
but
here.
so Brian Brumsfeld came, right?
Yes, he did. He did that really rambling story where he got a stereo pair.
Yeah,
as a
and
result.
Jeff Hoffman was there, and then who else? Here's Jeff Leonard. Did you want to share a performance story with us and take home a Bluetooth speaker?
I'll be as generic as I can.
You can make it as generic, because all we're really interested in is the weird, crazy performance architecture story stuff.
All right.
And keep in mind, this podcast does not come with subtitles, despite the fact that there are 2 people from North Carolina on the podcast.
Keeps happening.
So I should speak very clearly, is what you're saying,
No, you'll be
Yes. Yes.
in a very deep voice.
Very
No.
clearly and slowly, so people outside of the South will be able to understand you.
Oh man, now I'm really in trouble.
All right. So what is your story?
All right, so let's see. I did have one a bit back where we had something where something just creeped up a small percentage, and we showed that can back up everything at the mid-tier level.
Yeah.
And they had a defect for a while with that, and we had them set with that, but they need to tune for better.
The overall architecture, just a 3-tier web kind of thing, app database.
It was off a service bus.
Okay.
Yeah, so service bus to back end kind of thing, right? So then what was happening with the back end with that, it would just creep just a small percentage of milliseconds.
So you had a bunch of serialized requests.
No, you're not
So-
supposed to guess. He's supposed to finish.
Okay.
No.
I'm
No, we're not.
dropping back now.
We're supposed to be like let him get the story out.
I'll
keep
put my
going.
governor on.
You don't want to shut him down.
It's all good. So,
'Cause there's
and by
there's
the
a
way,
hook.
that was my southern part. It's all good. So basically, so what was happening was their mid-tier was having issues, and they were thinking it was purely at the back-end level. But what happened was the mid-tier was so busy because it was waiting on the previous requests to come back, and there was really nothing looking like it was slow. And if you really went underneath the microscope with it and really looked at it, it just creeped about 20 milliseconds, and the amount of requests it was making was so high that actually it backed up all the connection pools. And then it would, because it would back up everything in the back end, your
Database
front end,
connection pools.
on the not on the database side, on the side of the mid-tier going to the database.
Okay, so incoming to the app server itself.
Yes.
Okay. Max threads?
Yeah.
kind of issue?
No. It was odd. So basically, think you're coming into like a front end of an application server. An application server is going to service bus. Service bus is going back into a back end system, right?
Ah.
So then what's happened is when it's in that mid, the subscriber publisher part on the SOA, it's stuck in that level there, and it's making that level look bad coming in and going out.
So where are they pointing the finger when you came in? They're
They
pointing the
weren't.
finger at the app server or the bus?
Yes. Both.
Both,
And,
yeah.
and I'm like, no, that's not it. And they're like, no, what you got a problem here is this is increased by 100, probably about 20 milliseconds. It's only about 100 milliseconds or 80. And I said, once you get in this level here, it's backing up all your connections bopping in there, and they're all held hostage. And you're tuned for an ideal tuning.
Solution to the problem?
Solution to the problem is pad some additional, even though you're not using it all, for moments when that gets inundated with something bad that's going on in that environment that they don't know about.
Transient spike, something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Since they didn't have anything to thwack something, there might be a rogue process that would consume everything and slow it down just slightly.
What was the downside for the customer? It was just slowness, or were they losing business? What was, like, in the greater scheme of things? What was the
No
real
lost
downside?
business. It just made things really slow.
People are just waiting around
So
forever.
loss of productivity.
Yeah, exactly. Like your front end would just become miserable because it had so much waiting going on. So you'd end up getting nothing would return, or things would spin, things of that sort, because it was out of connections. Now, if you're in there and the connections that were getting served, you're great. Last one in, orphaned.
Exactly.
Because it couldn't hack anyone. It's too busy, do fiends,
Now,
the whole shebang.
why didn't they find
So you
this?
just wait in the ESP.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
why couldn't they find this? What was?
Well, the thing is pretty
Seems kinda straightforward.
Well, it would be if you think it was just the way I explained it, but it was dozens of different things, of different applications, consuming a common bus.
exhausting the bus as they shared
Yeah.
different services,
Yeah.
different. But it didn't matter. It's part of the infrastructure.
Yeah, so it looked like the calling app server was the problem, but the calling app server wasn't the problem. It was 2 tiers down.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Oh, believe me,
Can
it was
we-
pretty
can-
hairy, and no one believed me for quite a while.
You haven't mentioned the customer at all.
So
but-
it really
No.
was an all publisher problem, not a subscriber problem.
Exactly.
yeah,
And
really
the last thing you would think it would be that, because it was only a 20 millisecond difference.
yeah. Now, is this JMS? Or what was the underlying ESB architecture?
Being old, it was JMS, it was messaging.
Yes,
Yes.
you got JMS and
Yeah.
maybe some kind of Apache MQ stuff.
MQ or something.
Yeah, well, exactly. All the above kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Oracle bought up some of that technology that's in it. I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
give you that much of a hit.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I found is that people would grow in ESB and they would use heterogeneous different things. So I got a little Rabbit MQ over here, a little Apache MQ, a little Webster MQ, some old MQ series, running some Oracle queues on that thing, and they think queue's a queue. I can just plug this stuff together, right? But all of the underlying protocols that are connecting these things have preferences, have defaults
Yep.
that aren't exact. I really like talking to another one of me. I don't like talking to my competitor, another vendor, or whatever. So all those esoteric, like, oh, I'm talking to, or I have to do 3 round trips to do the same thing as if I'm talking to your API. And that's stuff that can whack, people can really whack to the bus.
And this one's even crazier because this is IBM kind of crap. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it's not crap. It's
fine.
just an IBM kind of thing that when they do their gets, it's an incremental get. So it
Yeah.
could be 1,000 things to get the one thing you want.
Yep.
So, and that's what it was. And so then when you add 20 milliseconds on top of an incremental get,
And
that really adds
you're
up
getting 20 milliseconds added,
to 1,000
which is
requests.
almost like an N+1 problem, right? I mean,
Exactly, and therein lies the
Insane.
problem. So I forgot to give you that extra piece there.
No, that's
That's the most important piece.
that's very, very cool. All right, Jeff, you've won yourself. We've entered you in our long-term drawing here to win Dynatrace UFO
Oh,
and an Amazon Echo. You also won the Bluetooth sound speaker. We only have 2 left.
Oh, awesome.
After this, I don't know what we're going to give away. We'll have to give away Neotis T-shirts. And more koozie. Did you get a
I'm
beer
not.
koozie?
Oh, I have plenty of koozie, but
You sure?
yeah,
But,
we'll
you
put
need
this in there
another
right
one.
now.
Look
Yeah,
at that. You can't see this, but he's got the old school. That's not going to work.
yeah, it's not.
Think about Thanksgiving. You need a good half a dozen of these things.
There you go.
You know the funny thing tonight with
I'm in the South. I have plenty of these.
with all the beers tonight,
beers.
the koozies have been like tremendously popular. People are like, "I've got a beer. I've got a koozie. Oh,
Who
And
needs a
they're-
beer koozie? He
it's
needs
like
one. Right
time
there.
and place."
Yeah, we'll give him.
We should just
So,
put it
Jeff,
out by
thank
the
you. That's
bar.
an awesome story, though.
All right, I appreciate it, guys.
It sounds. The thing that's deceiving. It sounds common. Oh, I know this.
Yeah.
If you've been any seasoned performer, then snakes away. You're like, wait a minute, that's
Yeah.
not the thing I thought it was.
It's the incremental.
I like that.
It's the incremental get because it could be 1,000 or 10,000,
That's the
and
punishment.
when you add 10 to 20 milliseconds on top of that incremental get, it eats your lunch.
Next thing you know, you're sitting there for 3, 6, 8 seconds.
And no one, and when you look at a normal graph, the little tiny graph, no one's going to see that.
Oh yeah.
No one's going to see it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Thanks, gentlemen.
What's your favorite thing here so far at Dynatrace Perform?
The hands-on. Hands-on.
Yeah, which
Actually, since I was kind of new to some of the new front end with all this, we kind of wanted to do the entry level that was all sold out. So I'm like, all right, so I'll pop in the mobile one, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't do any mobile, but I'm sure it'll apply because it's just an end client, and I've done ADV before, so
Right.
So that wasn't bad. That was great. Got a lot from that, and that applies to actually all the other areas. So, and then did advanced web monitoring too. That was great. So the hands-on was worth time.
Which is advanced web monitoring on Dynatrace, not AppNon, not at all. Have you used the old AppNon stuff?
No, I have not.
So you're really in super.
Yeah. I got to dive in the deep end day one. That was fun.
That's pretty nice. That's kind of rare, actually.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of folks like me. I'm still an AppNon user, just trying to get things into the Dynatrace world, so that's good.
Yeah, it was handy. Of course, now I got in maybe early evening and had to finish downloading everything. So
I'm a Wireshark guy, so
You'll be all right. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, guys.
We'll see you again. Bluetooth
All right,
speaker.
guys. Yes.
Bluetooth speaker and a cozy.
So,
good.
do you think it's what time is it? We've been going for. I think it's maybe time to wrap up. The
Maybe
evening,
time
huh?
to actually. Is it close to 7? It might be good. We'll give a little wrap up for the day here.
Yeah,
if you
2
want,
minutes
yeah.
before 7.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right. All right. Day one.
It's day
one. We started in the morning.
of-
We posted the Chris Morgan interview from
Yep.
Red Hat. He did a main stage. That was good.
Yep,
We covered our 4 massive things first thing in the morning.
we did.
We gave away pretty much all of our Bluetooth speakers.
Except one. There's one left.
I might take that one home myself. That's probably not
And
fair, though, is it?
we talked to Heinrich.
Talked to Heinrich, got that on the air, got Chris on the air. We actually did some conversation with the AWS guys, so there may be an interview coming down the road. Maybe I'll let you
Not
guys
the AWS
post that.
guys, just Steve Pace.
Just Steve Pace, but, we'll
So-
see. Yeah. That'll be kind of cool.
Just got to finish it. Yeah, just
But that may come posting down the road.
While we
Well,
didn't
to
speak
Steve
with
Pace
Ryan
tomorrow.
Folk of Folk Consulting, he has some announcements to make in about a week.
Did he come, or you maybe
for
talk to him tomorrow?
follow-on, he has some things that didn't quite come together in time for the event, so we'll post it to the Perform 2018 tag as soon as it's available, about a week's time.
That sounds fantastic. I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
I need some sleep.
Yeah.
But we're going to sign off for the day, the end of day 2. James, any thoughts, reflections? Anything piquing your interest?
Yeah, the browser add-in. I think that's a huge.
That's a big thing.
Very, very subtly tossed in, kind of under the covers as an announcement. But I think that's extraordinarily large for organizations that are moving to a 100% SaaS model, and they need to have something other than a black box up-down.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, and don't forget though, right? We talk about if you think black box up down.
No, we're wrapping up. What's your thoughts?
No, I
for the day?
was just going to say there's always
on,
synthetics. My thoughts of the day is it's been a long day, a lot of information, a lot of, I wouldn't say overload because it's been well paced.
No, it's perfect.
But it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we had the hot day yesterday, a lot of fun.
I'm thinking
A lot of cool stuff today. I'm really looking forward to the announcements tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
we didn't talk enough about Chewbacca and the Stormtroopers
we
and
did
Darth
not.
Vader.
Right.
And Dave, who was like a Jedi.
He was
Dave the Jedi.
Ozzy One Kenobi.
That's not.
Aussie One Kenobi.
That's not.
Aussie One Kenobi.
I missed that. I'm so
Yes.
glad. I'd have to tell him that.
That's right up there with 84 Lumber.
84
Just
Lumber.
to mention it.
84 Lumber. And Bob Stoltzman. I mean, guys, you can't not
Bob.
remember Bob.
Remember,
that'll be
what
good.
about Bob?
I don't know. So we're going to sign off for the day,
Yes.
everybody. Join us tomorrow. Again, same time in the morning.
Same
we'll
bad
probably
time, same bad
right
channel.
after breakfast. Maybe we'll see how we're doing in the morning, breakfast wise, and then a couple of different segments, some more interviews, some more stories, and then we'll wrap it up. There's even another party tomorrow night, I think.
Yeah, there's a band playing and
rap-
everything. So I don't know if
yeah.
we're going to be
Oh, I'm going to
podcasting
get on
during that.
stage. You and I are going to jam in the breaks, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
I've been practicing my beatbox.
Oh, wait, now we're going to go have a conversation with Quincy.
Oh, you want to...
No.
Okay.
No, we're going to wrap it up. That's crazy.
The podcast that never ends. All right. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, we're signing
Good
off.
night, everyone.
See you tomorrow.
Live from Las Vegas.